Young hands. There's no need to be down. They said, young hands, pick yourself off the ground. Fun to play in the PDC. Thomas Younghands not here this weekend, of course.
Which is a shame.
It is a shame, because I'll roll that one out at every available opportunity. But Mark Walsh is, and Stephen Bunting is. Now, Bunting, the bullet, fresh, or relatively fresh, from winning just his second PDC title. Won one within days of making the switch a couple of years ago, and then pretty much 25 months on from that, just when that money had disappeared off his ranking, he went and won another one, just to bump himself back up there.
Yeah, so it tops it up nicely.
First leg, Stephen to throw first. Game on.
And that title for Bunting earlier this year, when he went and beat Michael van Gerwen in the final, no less. It's been sort of
93.
one of a few diamonds in the rough of 2016 for Stephen Bunting.
Yeah.
He's not been consistently good, but when he's been good, he's been very good. He obviously won that one in the Players' Championship. He made a quarter-final, and he made the last 16 of the UK Open as well. Big chunk of money there for the Bullets. But he is a two-time major semi-finalist in the PDC, Grand Prix in the UK Open, and let's not forget
100.
the vast. I mean, he won everything in the BDO, everything. Two-time World Masters, all kinds of other tournaments, just hoovering up points and money and titles. And of course, the crowning
60.
glory, the win at the Lakeside. As our esteemed MC Richard Ashdown would have it. Oh, look at that.
162.
Wonderful stuff. 162 from Stephen Bunting. Racing out the blocks against Mark Walsh. Walsh here, a man who has 10 PDC titles to his name.
100.
He was that good a few years ago. The vast majority of those, 8 of those coming in 2009 and 2010. But he had to win back his tour card at Q School this year. Such has been his decline in fortunes.
60.
In fact, the last time that Mark Walsh won 3 consecutive matches at a single ranking event was February 2014 at a UK Open qualifier.
60.
So more than 2 years ago.
You require 86.
You know the answer, folks.
54.
It is a plane. It's not the world's biggest Hoover. Right next to the runway here at the Victoria Stadium in Gibraltar.
That run in Barnsley, by the way, when he
41.
beat Van Gerwen in the final, he also beat Peter Wright, Robert Thornton and Adrian Lewis as well. It was an incredible week. Or weekend even.
He's got the game. We know he's got the game. He's an absolutely top player, Stephen Bunting. He has got
16.
talent to burn.
Mark, you require 140.
But he had a bit of a crisis of form, a crisis of confidence maybe.
Well, he told me he was depressed. I mean, not clinically depressed, but he said he was really questioning what he was doing and, you know, just wondering when it was all going to end. This was when he was playing at the
82.
Players' Championship
Stephen,
finals
you
in November. He had a
16.
disappointing early exit there. Similarly, didn't really cover himself in glory at the World Championship either. But he's had a chance to regroup here, and he's had a chance to take the opening leg against Mark Walsh.
Mark to throw first. Game on.
Overcame Kurt Parry and Ronnie Baxter in qualifying for this tournament. He also came through qualifying for the first 2 European Tour events of the year. Made the second round in both Venray and Munich.
100.
As Walsh fires in 180. As he looks to get himself back on track here. Bunting beat John Michael in Venray. There we go. Need to mention John Michael's name
up, doesn't he, John Michael?
once an hour, every hour. That's the target. Beat him 6-0 as well.
Yeah, we won't see Bunting next weekend at Frankfurt. He lost to that man Josh Payne, another name who keeps getting mentioned today. Lost in qualifying. The qualifiers for European Tour Event 3 this one and 4 next week's one on the same day. Similar fortunes for Mark Walsh on that day. He beat James Hubbard, Adam Hunt and Nathan Derry. Only dropped 5 legs in those 3 games. Played well. In the end, for European Tour Event 4 in Frankfurt next week, he was beaten by Frosty the Throwman, Mark Frost, the scaffolder from Stoke. Lost it in a deciding leg.
134. Mark, you require 140.
Well, take a ton here, Walshy. You'd love a ton. And he gets a ton.
And that will do very nicely indeed. Bunting, I suppose, would have loved a European Tour event in the Basel area at the mid-May, end of May time of year. To coincide with Liverpool's Europa League final after they booked their place last night.
Yeah, big Liverpool fan, the man from St Helens, as Walshy looks to level a match up on double top. Now for double 10, last start in hand, Bunting poised on 82, and he's going to get a go at it. Walshy already getting frustrated. Now, can Bunting compound that? 17 for tops. Tops he wants. 2-0 Bunting, clinical take.
Second leg, Stephen Bunting. Third leg, Stephen to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, more like it from Stephen Bunting. Looking in good shape so far, early days, but solid start from
121.
Didn't really make much of an impression in Europe last year in the European Tour events. Maybe the juggling act of being in the Premier League at the same time and playing in Europe at the weekend maybe
100
wasn't quite to his liking, whatever it may be. His best performance was in Riesa, where as a qualifier he went down 6-5 to Ian White in the quarter-finals, but that was pretty much as good as it got for him.
Yeah, he found last year a struggle.
100.
I mean, it was that first year was so good and the bar was so high. You know, making semi-finals of the European Championship, beating Phil Taylor along the way.
60.
Sorry, it was the quarterfinals of the European Championship, beating Phil Taylor, but he won his tournament after just coming over. He just looked like he was at home in the PDC, and that was his best run on the European Tour in Munich there when we had it. Different venue from the Munich venue we're playing at for the last couple of years, the Ballhaus Forum. One was some fancy hotel near all the diplomatic embassies, and Bunting was one of 4 world champions in the semi-finals. Adrian Lewis, Phil Taylor and Michael Van Gogh in there with him.
Well, the wheels have come off.
95.
Mark Walsh here, his visit of 30 leaves him on 3-1-1.
Needed to fill it up to get to a finish. Bunting will come back, and I'd imagine it will be 18 for double 16 for the bullet. Easy bit done. Tricky bit was made to look very easy, and that is a 14 darter. It's a 3-0 lead as Dave Pallett, from the same stable as Stephen Bunting, Nevada Darts, just looks on and shows his appreciation.
57.
Did do a lot of practice together last year. Pallett credited the work they were doing together with his upturn in form that saw him have that run in Austria. Pallett's run here in Gibraltar came to an abrupt end in the first round, but it was a really good game with Dowell Gurney earlier on to round off the afternoon session.
Was indeed, yeah. Paid the price for a sluggish start, did Dave Pallett. But they're a very tight-knit group, aren't they, that stable?
Yeah, they really are. Well, I mean, Ricky Evans is another one in that group. And when they were on their European Tour travels last year, they were doing impromptu chat shows between 3 of them. 3 men in a bath, 3 men in a shower. They were very
100.
I mean, they were clothed.
Thankfully. I was just
Yeah.
enduring
Good
images
God.
in my head there. Who's that young boy with Pallett,
65.
Is it just...
It might. Well, I know Stephen Bunting has his family with him here this weekend.
Right.
It may be Stephen Bunting's young lad Tobias, but I couldn't confirm that. Not sure how old Tobias is.
56.
I doubt Dave Pallett's just found a child off the street. I'm sure he's supposed to be looking after that child.
Well, Walsh 3-0 down here
59.
and struggling to find the big numbers. That's the 4th successive visit in this leg of 100 or fewer.
It's not a great leg, this one, but Stephen Bunting. Yeah, he's turning the screw now, Bunting, and already thoughts are turning to a potential whitewash. We have seen one.
An unlikely one, Oh, sorry, an unlikely one earlier today with Pike beating
100.
Lewis 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly unlikely. Yeah, the one this evening was slightly more on the cards, it has to be said, with Gerwyn Price seeing off the Gibraltarian player. That's a great dart from Bunting. Oh, that's a great dart, followed by
80. Mark, you require 120.
So Walsh, Shanghai here to get a leg on the board. And he strayed over into the fives anyway, and just look at the reaction of Mark Walsh's face there. Leaves him on 115. Couldn't even find the big number, and he's straight into the fives again. At least he's levelled that off, and once more, look at
25.
that, 25 for Mark
You
Walsh.
require 32.
It's becoming a bit of a habit for him here. Bunting, double 16,
Dave
no
Shaws with a
problem,
full flag.
4-0.
Stephen Bunting.
Closing in on a place in the second
flag,
round,
Stephen, to
and a
throw
meeting
first.
potentially tomorrow
Game on.
with Benito van der Pas, the man we talked about earlier as a potential
yeah, it could be a
candidate.
great game.
Well, at least I did, anyway.
Oh, it's certainly a potential candidate to go on.
140.
Win one of these European Tour events has been close before. Of course, it was in Risa, I believe, that he made the final, was beaten by Michael Smith.
Yeah, 6-3 lost that day.
Had it confirmed, that is Stephen Bunting's young lad with Dave Pallett. So
125.
panic not, Pallett has not rounded up some urchin from the streets of Gibraltar. Good dart, Stephen Bunting. Oh, no.
120.
One thing having it bounce out, it's another having it sit quite happily in there and then just fall out. Costs him 60 points, but I've got a feeling it may be academic.
I think so. Once again, can't find the big numbers, but
76.
recovers slightly with that final dart. Still on 300 here. Bunting will get down to a finish first, you suspect, or maybe he won't. That one absolutely pinged out.
25.
25. Spoke too soon there.
No, I don't know, it's John Archer.
The man in charge of the stable.
$140.
Well, Walsh, he does get down to a finish before Bunting. On the Bunting throw, but the bullet may fancy his chances. He needs to find the trouble, you would think. Does so.
100. Mark, you require 160.
Now, can Walshy do something, just spark a bit of a fight back? Not let the former world champion have things all his own way.
60.
Just
Stephen,
the
you
60,
require
but at least he stayed straight. He's
160.
left himself a two-dart finish. Bunting, 116 here. Some players go the 19s, some players go the 20s. He's gone the 20s, so 16 for tops. Tops for Bunting, and there it is, 116 checkout.
Stephen Bunting.
And this is a very efficient performance from Stephen Bunting. The
Certainly
averages aren't brilliant, it's 93 or so. He's hit 50% of his doubles though, and there's 116 and 82 checkout, a 50 in there.
77.
And the 116 that we saw in the fifth leg as well. Yet to hit a 180, just the 180 so far in this match. It came from Walsh early on. Matters not though, 5-0 down he is.
100.
They have met twice before, these two. Bunting has won them both, but both of them went the full distance. They went 6-5. Now, I'm not saying this isn't going to go 6-5, but
100.
something weird is going to happen for that to take place. Especially with darts like this from the bullet.
140.
Yeah, another chance to break again here and complete the whitewash. 63 the advantage, minus these.
60.
And Bunting has effectively stolen the darts here. Meanwhile, there's a game of darts going on.
Absolute whale of a time, those two. Why wouldn't they be?
83.
Stephen Bunting's playing dart. I'm
100.
not sure a ton's enough for Mark Walsh. A ton 40 would have given him a realistic chance. 164 is doable, but rarely, and particularly for a man who's averaging below 82 at the minute. Well, just above
60.
82, I tell a lie.
Mark, you require 164.
Another plane at the airport as Walshy. Well, he might be on one very shortly, because the 164's not going. Bunting's just taken out 116. If he can take out 118, it's the third 6-0 whitewash of the day.
92. Stephen, you require 180.
So Bunting, from that familiar position way over on the right-hand side of the oche. Needs the treble. Doesn't get it, so Walsh will return, but he may only get one
Mark, you
dot.
require 72.
Is it going to be the 16s he starts on? It is, and he gets the treble, so he gets 2 dots at double to get a leg on the board. Mark Walsh, double 6 now. Last dart in hand, a shake of the head. He doesn't like it.
Oh, agony.
Stephen, you require 60.
You suspect it would have delayed the inevitable, but it would have been good for Walsh to get something on the board. As it is, Stephen Bunting tops he wants for a place in the second round of the Pepperami Gibraltar Darts Trophy, and that too is on hold for the time being.
Well, he'd hit 5 out of 9 on his doubles. He was more than 50%. You expected one of those to go in, and it hasn't. And Walshy's got a chance, but he can't spurn this. He really can't, can he? He can't, and he doesn't. And Walshy gets a leg on the board, and there you go. Why not celebrate it, Walshy, even if you don't really mean it?
Game on.
It was on the Walsh throw. Bunting a holder throw here. And he can start getting ready for a match with Benito van der Pas tomorrow.
134.
That's a nice start.
Well, he avoided the ignominy of losing 6-0, Mark Walsh, but
37.
it may be a question of how many legs he gets in a defeat rather than whether he can pull off the victory. Stranger things have happened, but not
We've
many.
seen it a lot on the European Tour.
134.
One involving Mark Walsh. Was it Mark Walsh and Brendan Dolan
Yes, it
in
was.
Austria?
In Austria last year, yeah. That was a strange match. Mind you, anything can happen if Dolan's playing.
85.
Northern Irishman. Back in the treble 19 for Stephen Bunting. It's a great last start, finding his way through. You can never quite tell from the camera angles just how difficult or easy it is to navigate a path through to certain trebles when you've got darts in the way. Bunting evidently backed himself to get there and did so. It's left him very nicely on 100, and it could be an 11 darter to round things off. Treble 20 for tops for Stephen Bunting and a 6-1 win. The first bit's done. Oh, and he spits it out the board
For the third time.
80.
The third time in this match that's happened
I
for
think
Stephen
that
Bunting.
was. I'm not sure if it was him, but it looked in to me. I have to say.
Yeah, I think it was. It just bounced right out.
Well, it goes down as a mismatched dart. I think it's a little bit hard.
59. Stephen,
It
you
says in the
require
stats.
20.
Double 10 though, he gets 3 more for a 6-1 win. Stephen Bunting to set up a second round clash with Benito van der Pas, so it's have to be double 7 now. Well, it doesn't, because he can just round it off and go for double 4.
Mark, you require 135.
6 match darts he's missed now, Stephen Bunting. in
Yeah,
total.
do you just think one or two doubts are creeping in? The champagne is on ice. It's there waiting to be opened, but
If he hits the treble, that's a good lie. Or it looks a good lie.
bullseye he wants.
89.
He quite fancied it, I think, Walsh. Just from his
8.
reaction there.
Yeah,
He
like you
thought,
say, the first dart was kind. It was set up nicely for him. Bunting, though, double 4, and there it is.
Stephen Bunting.
Stephen Bunting once again illustrating what a class act he can be. Simply too good for Mark Walsh today, and it's the bullet who goes through to the second round where he will face Benito van der Pas, and the Dutchman will have plenty to think about there. Stephen Bunting in business once again. Mark Walsh simply never really got going in that one. Despite a load of bounce outs for Stephen Bunting, he's done more than enough in this one to get through and get over the line. We'll see more of him this weekend. He is through with a 6-1 victory. And next on stage, we've got the World Championship quarter-finalist Alan Norris for you, up against one of the Gibraltar qualifiers, George Federico. That's coming up next.